Good afternoon. I'm Marla Ellerman. I'm publisher of Mobile Marketing and Technology Online and executive producer of the Mobile Payment Conference. I'm here at Transact 14 with Bob Carr, CEO of Heartland Payment Systems, and we're so pleased to have you join us today.
Thank you, Marla. We're happy to be here.
Well, thank you. Well, I kind of just wanted to go over a couple of key issues I think that you covered here at Transact 14, starting with EMV.
Great. We think EMV is here. We think all the questions, about whether or not it was going to become a mandate are behind us now with the recent breaches, and there's just a massive effort on the part of all the people in the industry to get merchants educated about why they need to adopt it. The idea that leapfrogging technology is going to possibly diminish the need for EMV, I think that argument's past us now.
So is Heartland Payment Systems ready for EMV? Are you programmed, ready to roll this out?
We've been ready since April of last year, and we have about 80,000 devices out with about 80,000 merchants that have purchased our EMV equipment. So yeah, we're ready to go. We're going, but we have a lot more merchants that haven't made the switch yet.
Okay, great. So also let's touch on end-to-end encryption. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, of course, we were breached in 2008 and learned about it in early '09. And before we knew we were breached, we were working on end-to-end encryption. And we ramped that up very rapidly, and we actually brought out the first end-to-end encryption product in the summer of 2009. And the good news today is that all those 80,000 devices that we've put in the field are both end-to-end encryption capable and EMV capable. So we've been dealing with this one since we learned about our breach almost 5 years ago now.
Wow, that's great. And then what's your views on tokenization?
Well, we look at security today as a three-legged stool. And each one of the legs is as necessary as the other two, and that is E3 end-to-end encryption, EMV, as we've already talked about, and then tokenization is the third leg of that stool. So the data needs to be encrypted as it's transmitted through the system. That's where the end-to-end encryption comes in, and then it needs to be stored with a token, so that if it does get compromised, there's no quality data of value to the bad guys.
Okay, great. I've got a couple other questions that I just kind of want to ask you. Last year, you were so generous to invest in a couple different companies. Leaf tabbed out, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, and I'm curious, like I'm sure everybody else is curious, when you made that investment in those technology companies, you didn't have them say that you would be the processor for, the main processor for them. Why is that?
Well, because Heartland is a multi-product company. We have lots of other products besides payment processing, including the software as a service model for point of sale. And so if a customer, and we also are a big payroll player, and we have a SmartLink product for multi-network communications. So we have these multiple products to sell. We have 1,000 salespeople in the organization, and if somebody's locked into a contract for payments, we still want them as a customer. So this we're a little bit different than many of our competitors who just are pure payments processors.
Right, so I'm familiar. So you did that because you wanted the technology to kind of roll through, help the industry kind of start moving in the right direction. I think it's just very admirable, and it was very nice of Heartland to do that for those companies, because it comes back to all of us in the industry. I don't know if people are really aware of it. I know that you do really a lot in payroll, but what was the third part of Heartland? You do processing, payroll, and what was the third one?
We do managed network services. We also have a very wide variety of gift and loyalty applications. We also have a large school business. We process 35% of the school lunch programs in the country, and we process a lot of college campuses too. So we didn't really do the open platform as out of the goodness of our hearts. We did that because we think that that's a good business model for our customers. And if it's good for our customers, it's good for us.
So was that investment a stock play, or was that just a pure and they pay you back like you were the bank?
It's a combination. We've made investments in equity, and we also have some loans as well.
I have another question on all the managed service products and also the payroll products. How much is crossover? How many clients do you have that are utilizing all three of your product sets?
We don't have a lot of clients using all three because the managed network service product is relatively new. We have about 20,000 customers using that, but they tend to be our larger customers with multiple locations. Managed network service is a complex product. We're still trying to figure out how to economically get it delivered to the smaller merchant, because we're basically replacing their communication system, and a lot of business owners don't really know what they have. And so we have to know what they have completely in order to put in an installation. So we're figuring it out. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Another question I do have is the Mercury deal and how you really stepped up for the industry. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
I would just like to say that deceptive trade practices should not be part of any industry. They have definitely become part of this industry, and we're going to do whatever we can to make that stop.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add? And where do you see Heartland in 5 years?
Heartland is number 5 right now in terms of transactions. That's not really how we measure the company. I see us being a much larger player because of our business model, and we just have a fabulous group of people working at Heartland, and I think the future is great for our industry, and I think it's particularly great for Heartland.
Well, that's exciting. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching.